My name is Karen Kerrigan, and I am President and CEO of the Small Business and Entrepreneurship Council.
Wow, that's neat. So you're here in Washington, or outside of Washington, nicer than downtown Washington, and you're helping people, small businesses and entrepreneurs, know about government stuff, the policies and everything. Is this what you guys do?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, we work for small businesses here in Washington. We provide them with a voice on Capitol Hill. We meet with members of Congress. We meet with federal agencies. We meet with the White House, and we tell them what small businesses want. In addition, we look at what the government is providing small business owners, what they can get from the government in terms of training and resources and access to capital. So we let our members and small business owners know about these things on a regular basis.
And why do you think, I don't know about you, when I go around the country, a lot of people, I don't care what they do in Washington as long as they stay away from me.
Yeah, right.
and so you're really saying the opposite. And why do you think it's important for them to know what's going on in Washington?
Well, if you're not paying close attention to what's happening to Washington, you're missing a big part of the picture. I mean, obviously what happens in Washington impacts your business. You're going to pay for things that are happening in Washington right now, whether it's tax policy, whether it's new regulation, whether it's healthcare, healthcare reform. There are a number of things that Washington is doing every day on practically every issue that impacts small business owners, impacts their operations, and impacts their competitiveness on a global level.
So if they're stuck with higher expenses or something because of regulations or whatever, then they can't compete as well, as you're saying, with in the world economy.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you have from regulations, for example, small businesses pay 3 times more in terms of regulatory costs than larger enterprises. It just impacts them more.
I mean, the out-of-pocket cost is 3 times more?
Yeah, absolutely, because they can't spread those costs around.
I see.
And they hit them. It hits them more disproportionately. What Washington does impacts business costs, impacts operations. Regulation means more time and money that business owners have to spend to comply with those regulations. Tax policies, they could be raising taxes, they could be passing things through the Congress that could help small businesses in terms of tax credits, in terms of expensing. So there's a lot of things going on here that affect business operations.
And how long has the council been around?
We've been around 15 years.
Wow.
This is our 15-year anniversary. And the more things change, the more they stay the same from a small business perspective. But really, what's changed a lot, I mean, there's a lot that's changed, obviously, in the world right now. And what we continue to tell members of Congress is that what they do, they think it only impacts a certain proportion of businesses. What they do, they think maybe impacts just larger enterprises. But what they do ultimately does impact small business owners, and as and the world's gotten a lot smaller. So small business owners not only compete with the guy next door or the girl across the street. Women entrepreneurs, women are starting businesses at 6 times the rate.
6 times the rate.
6 times.
6 times the rate.
Yes, in the minority community, 6 times the rate.
I see. Wow.
But they're starting businesses at 2 times the rate.
Yeah, like 2 to 1, I hear.
Yes, 2 times the rate.
Yeah. And they're more successful, I hear.
Yeah, they grow more rapidly. They reach that $1 million mark more rapidly than their male counterparts. Because of technology, because of ease of access to capital in terms of starting businesses, truly becoming an entrepreneur is something that lots of people can do if they aspire to that, as you all know.
I believe, but I believe all you need is a phone and a desk and you're in business, and a business card. But tell me, in Washington, if you were convincing a small business person, I don't care about policy and things like that, or things that may affect me 10 years down the line, what do you think that they don't know about Washington now that they should know about that could help their business? Do you have anything off the top of your head that you run into, things like that, is helpful to folks?
Given the economic climate, I think many businesses are looking for new business opportunities. They're looking at how they can expand their market, find new customers. And I think one of the really neat things that the government is doing, and that we convey, to our members and small business owners, is the opportunity they have to go global, to tap into global markets much more easily and much more readily than what has been the case in the past.
I believe that.
And the Department of Commerce, for example, the International Trade Administration has fabulous programs, particularly geared towards small business owners. Web series on how to go global. They just finished up a 6-city tour throughout the United States, sort of a nuts and bolts type of training for small business owners on how to go global. They provide information on a regular basis on specific markets.
I see,
whether it's India, South America, Japan, you name it. They have individuals who work in government, in commercial services, who work for you. Their emails are readily available. Their phone numbers are readily available, where you can call them up and work with these people on getting your market, getting your market into that country.
That's what excites me about government.
Yeah.
See, and when I used to do this for Fortune 500 companies in Washington, down on K Street, I'd go get these guys for these Fortune 500 companies who could pay $30,000 to have somebody do this, but they know the free stuff was better.
And this is truly free. This is a really great opportunity for small businesses in terms if they're
especially with the dollar going down.
Right.
We become more competitive in the world.
Right.
So whatever you're selling, if it's trinkets or boots or whatever.
And small businesses got to remember that 95% of consumers or potential consumers are outside the United States. And these people want what Americans have.
Absolutely. And we have an edge.
We do have an edge. And in addition, you have businesses in those countries, entrepreneurship is growing, who are looking for partners to do business with. And many of those are small to mid-sized firms.
I love the entrepreneurs overseas because they don't believe you need a lot of money. Everybody here thinks, I need gazillions of dollars to start a business. And like I was in Bulgaria recently, in India, they just get two sticks together and start a business.
They understand what sweat equity means.
Exactly.
I mean, they certainly do in those countries. And I travel on a global basis as well. And it's just, I'm always amazed at what people can do with limited resources in these countries.
But
particularly the emerging. Here. We can do that here. And you do have people that understand that. But we have a lot more resources and access to resources than others do in those countries. So,
and help. Like free resources.
That's right, free.
Actually, I was just reading a new program and a lot of states have this, where they give you $5,000 to go to a trade mission overseas.
Yes.
So if you're a small business, you get a couple grand to go fly to Europe or India or whatever and be part of a trade mission, or a convention to sell your wares.
And those are phenomenal opportunities.
Exactly. I mean, where else are you going to get that? Yeah.
So I would highlight the Commerce Department, the International Trade Administration, the Commercial Services Division, and they have wonderful stuff. And they put out regular trade highlights sheet that we actually provide our members on a regular basis. What they get, we pretty much just cut and paste and send it out to our members.
My first New York Times bestseller was a book I got at the GPO and just put my name on it.
Yes, but they want you to do that. They want to get the word out. I mean, there are people in government who want to help, and definitely they want more businesses to trade overseas. They know that's good for our economy. And that's good.
They're very selfish in doing this.
Yes, very, very much so. So trade, I would say, people really need to look at the SBA as well. I mean, they think of the SBA as, the Small Business Administration, but within the SBA itself is just a phenomenal network of women's business centers, of small business development centers.
Yes. I think it's the best thing this country has, those small business development centers.
And of volunteer networks, of resources, education, training, and people who are willing to help small businesses, who want to see small businesses succeed. And of course they have their loan programs at the SBA. That are not as complex as people think. I mean, they think SBA loans, they think paperwork, they think complexity, but they've gotten a lot better in terms of streamlining the process and making it easier.
2 pages or something like that.
That's
some of these things are,
So they've listened to small businesses and said, look, this is what you can do to make the system more small business friendly. This is how you can help increase capital to small businesses. Just simplify, modernize, streamline, make it easy for small businesses.
So what you're saying with the SBA, it's not only the money, it's the other stuff that they have. I mean, this is local stuff too. Usually, a lot of times, I think the stuff I've seen, they work with local state governments, and local nonprofits, and and that's who you're talking to, someone local, not some federal bureaucrat.
Exactly. They link up and they partner with these local organizations and groups and educational type of organizations who know the market, who know what the market needs. It's not a cookie cutter type of approach to training. It's what the market needs.
Not like one child left behind.
That's right. One small business left behind, right? No, it's not like that at all. So I think that's great. The other and related to the SBA. Is the work that they do, their procurement training centers in terms of how to do business with the federal government.
Best thing we have.
So you've got the PTAC centers, but also within each of the government agencies, you have the small business people within the OSDBUs, the Office of Small Disadvantaged Business Utilization. Now, they need to change that name, but it's very Washington, so maybe we need to keep it. The OSDBUs are offices within each federal government agency who are there to help small businesses access federal government contracts.
So what does that mean to a guy on the street? Like, I mean, well, you're going to help me. It's like my congressman says he's going to help me too, but does it really help? Or can I call them out of the blue and just ask for help? Or
you can. You can. I mean, in some agencies you have to dig deep to find where these folks are. But again, if you go to the Small Business and Entrepreneurship Council, our website, sbecouncil.org, we've done that work for you. And we basically have linked to all the ISW offices, who the contact person is, what their email address is, the type of programming they do. All the federal government agencies have to do a certain amount of business with small business.
So a certain percentage of their work has to go to small business.
Absolutely.
So they have quota to make, and you're helping them.
That's right. That's right. We're going to help them.
Those poor bureaucrats make quota.
And doing business with government may be a little bit more difficult and complex than in the commercial, private marketplace. But it has its rewards. If you find your niche, you can do, your business can grow quite steadily by doing business with government. So that is another big opportunity, huge opportunity. Everybody
wants to come to the government and get a grant or loan or something like that. No, get a contract, man. Because
that's right.
You get a grant or loan, that's only one time. You get a contract, you learn how to do that, you're over it.
That's right. And these offices, these OSDBUs, or even, what they post is, where the government's going to be spending its money in the next year. To give you as a business owner an idea, are they even going to be spending money in my space, in the area of my specialty, in the products or services that I provide?
No private company's going to do that, are they?
That is an enormous opportunity. I think particularly now, with the stimulus.
They're the only people growing.
Yeah.
They're the only people with money.
It's government, that's right.
That's right.
And they've only spent like 18 or 20% as of December 2009. But, they're expected to spend a lot more of that stimulus money.
No, I believe you're looking for a job, you have a business, find out where that money is in your area, and it's open to find out, or find the companies who are getting that money, which is also open, because they're going to be buying stuff.
Yes, And the other big procurement opportunity in doing business with government is with the big contractors. So you could be a subcontractor, to the major contractors. And again, some of these big businesses win their contracts by saying we're going to do X amount of a certain percentage of our business with small business.
Okay. So they have a small business quota to make too.
That's right.
So these big contractors, so you're doing them a favor by telling them.
Yes, so they're looking for qualified people, and again, whether it's the Small Business Administration within their various offices or departments, or whether it's in with the individual agencies and their OSDBUs, they have access, to these, they know these people that need to do business with small businesses, and also they put together trade shows or events or matchmaking events.
With the prime contractor?
With the prime contractors, as well as with the federal government agencies. They do these match, and again, but it's just making sure that you're looking for these opportunities, that you're visiting these websites, and that you're seeing what they're posting on a regular basis. I mean, a lot of them do not do the outreach. You have to go to them, but at least they do post this.
Anybody who's going to get money out of you is going to make sure you know, because they're going to spend a lot of money trying to find you. People that are giving you money, are going to let you find them.
But it's worth the effort in many cases, and sometimes it takes some time. But ultimately with persistence, and if you have the right product or service, if you're marketing yourself correctly, you can win these contracts.
Yeah, I believe in all that, and I see that at least I grew up. Maybe younger people don't think like this, but my generation, the government was something bad.
Mm-hmm.
And you just stay away from most people. I grew up in like Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, and the only thing I knew about the government was either the Division of Motor Vehicles,
oh gosh, okay,
or a crooked congressman
yes.
or something like that, and that's it. And I came to town here, and I said, God, this whole town lives off it. So, and there's so much neat stuff in it. If a schmuck like me from Wilkes-Barre could come and make a phone call and get all this stuff, anybody could do this.
Yeah.
Find out, and right or wrong, it's there. I mean, that's why. To me, I have my own personal politics, but whether the programs are right or wrong, I mean, I don't want to discuss that.
It's there.
It's
They're there.
Right. Exactly. This is reality.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And every Fortune 500 company, is on those lists.
Yes. Oh, they are. They're looking for those opportunities. But again,
Absolutely.
This is a great time for small business.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think particularly, again, with the economic situation the way it is, and the administration realizing that the source of job growth is going to come from small businesses. They really are making an effort to outreach to the small business community, making sure that these agencies hit their goals, making sure that the SBA loan programs are running as smoothly, as efficiently as possible, even lowering the cost of those programs.
I see some businesses. Of them no expenses at all now.
That's right. That's right. In terms of getting rid of the fees.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's a big opportunity for small businesses on the lending front right now.
Right.
Again,
there's hurdles to go over for.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you have concerns on the demand side, but again, if you're positioning your business well, if you're extending your brand, if you're looking for more opportunities, and for revenue to grow your business. The capital will be there.
Nobody else has money.
Yes.
Everybody else is shrinking, so they're not going out and buying new stuff, which you are if that's not your marketing.
Yes.
Except government or government-supported programs.
Another opportunity for businesses that have a certain niche is in the green.
Oh.
Green.
I'm going there big time.
The green area, right? You're going green, right?
Yeah.
But just at the Department of Energy, opportunities for contracts. I think even for grants.
Yes. New technology of an idea for something, and
right. And many of the firms that are the businesses that are doing that type of stuff are the entrepreneurs.
Absolutely.
Are the innovators and. These inventors, if you will, who are coming up with these technologies. So there's a tremendous opportunity for those individuals, that have that niche.
No matter what, but I mean that's going to be more than a niche. It's sort of I sort of see green like the internet 15 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
That it was, if you could spell IT or internet, you were an expert. And now it's if you know how to pick up trash, you're a environmentalist,
right, yes.
and a green expert. And in 5 years you'll need a PhD in this stuff. So now, because I assume and if we don't grow in there, I don't know what the else we're going to do. So it seems natural. As a society, we're going to grow in that, and that's going to be the next big opportunity, in the world, at least in our country. I hope every other country's doing it, and we're going to be behind if we don't. So if you're looking for something that's going to grow, I feel that's the only thing on the horizon I could see.
Oh yeah, no, there's tremendous growth. If you do have any type of service or any type of product that helps to enable sustainability
exactly.
With consumers or with businesses, there is a tremendous opportunity.
I just found it. Raleigh, in North Carolina, they give $100,000 to a cleaning business that teaches homeowners how to be clean green-wise. $100,000 for you got a cleaning business now because you're teaching homeowners how to clean green. There's a $100 grant they got for that. $100,000.
It's using your your intellectual what your
it's a brain power.
Right, or what you have as a business.
Yes.
Thinking very creatively
Exactly.
about what you can do in that business.
Absolutely.
To help others and to
to
extend.
Me, I'm trying to. I think there'll be more incentive programs in green than anywhere else. So I'm building a separate site just on green incentive programs.
Wow.
If whether it's housing or entrepreneuring, like starting green businesses or getting free energy audits for your business.
Yep.
Commerce Department already has that through National Institute of Standards and Technology or whatever the NITS they call. they already have a program around universities. Your business could call them up for free. They come in and do for your business a free energy audit.
Right.
And they don't know. Or now, the weatherization, where we're going to weatherize a couple million homes. That same program only did like 200,000 last year.
Yeah.
So they're, this bureaucrat who got, $200 million now has $5 billion.
Right.
No, he's not going to spend that fast enough.
Right. Well, and they're looking at the next cash for clunkers as cash for caulkers.
I see. Right, exactly.
Cash for caulkers,
right.
which will be, similar in that, the businesses that do this type of,
absolutely,
winterization or help to make homes more energy efficient.
And that's a contractor. I mean, it's nobody went to college for 15 years to study it.
Exactly. So there's going to be these, I think, in the green area, like you said, these opportunities very broadly, whether it's these, targeted temporary programs, or even, from a tax policy perspective, these targeted tax incentives that incentivize sustainability and green practices and such.
Right. No, I believe. I mean, because if we don't do it, I don't know what the hell we're going to do as a country.
Yeah.
If we don't get involved in this, because other people will be beating the pants off us. And that seems like a great opportunity to do. The world needs this.
Right, and it's something that we can export as a nation too. I mean, we've exported a lot of neat ideas and technologies and innovation. Unfortunately, those things are being stolen by other countries in terms of our intellectual property. Yeah. But it is a growth area for our nation that we could share and help other countries.
And that's the hope of our country, I think, is small business. Because as a small business, you normally don't have, I think when you get bigger and bigger and bigger, then you have to please other people and their motives. And if you have that stockholder's motive, and wants you to grow every 3 months or whatever it is, and sometimes it takes longer, and you have to make ethical choices, and in between making you have to stay in business, that's what's important, but there's other issues involved in life too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that are important.
And I think, what's interesting, I think, in the current economy with the internet, is the transparency that businesses have to operate under. And the fact that people can find out about your product or service and how you deliver it online very, very quickly if someone was unhappy.
Yeah.
And I think we expect sometimes to hear those stories from big businesses.
Exactly.
So you have a certain percentage, but small businesses even have to operate more ethically and have to deliver a greater percentage of the time, if not 100%, or people do find out about those reviews, if you will, particularly in the world of social media. This social media thing, that has overtaken all of us.
Right. And somebody could write a bad thing about you too and not be justified just as easily.
It's true. They could be a cranky customer. Well, again, it goes back to the importance of small business and knowing that they've got to have great relations with all their customers because they can respond to that and say that was not the case. That this is not how that business operates.
Listen, I was looking at some data on the SBA website last night about business formations, and they're saying like there's 27 million businesses. And they said that only 18,000 of those 27 million businesses in the United States are considered big. So all the rest are small.
Right.
So we only have 18,000. So we have 27,000 business or 27 million businesses in the United States. 18,000 are big. Only 18,000 of the 27 million are big, and all the rest of them are small.
All the rest are smaller
That's
enterprises.
Incredible.
Isn't that amazing?
That's phenomenal to me. And here's a more interesting thing to me that 73% of those businesses, so 73% of all the business, because heck, the big businesses are so small percentage of the pie, who cares about them? So we could say 73% of all the 27 million businesses have no employees.
That's right. They're all self-employed, individual.
No employees.
Yeah. I mean, people working out of their homes, or they may have offices, office sharing.
Right.
Yeah, but these are really...
73% have no employees.
That's right. I mean, if you could go and start your own and say, look, I can... Really, my only security is working for myself.
Exactly.
And I think you are seeing a boom in entrepreneurship. And I'd say about every year, about 550 to 570,000 new businesses start.
Yeah.
And my guess is they're going to look back at this year and
say,
just see a major boom in that.
Well, I believe that, and I think the structure of our financial, people thought a job was safe, so you want to get a job so you get credit and buy houses and all this kind of stuff. Now jobs aren't safe.
Right.
You're safer, by relying on yourself more.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And which is an old American tradition, I think, going out in the West and,
mm-hmm.
Relying on yourself, an independent person. And if you have 3 customers as a contractor, that's safer than having one boss who may not like you tomorrow morning.
That's right. Yeah, but
exactly.
One of them goes, they said, these 2 to count on, and I can go out and get more business.
Exactly. So, and that's why I sort of see these, 73%, which is, I don't know, 15, 20 million people who are called small businesses. They have a few customers,
mm-hmm.
Instead of one. One boss, plus more control of their life.
Yeah.
And sure, you work harder, but it's fun to work hard.
It is.
That's what I can't understand again in life, that everybody wants life to be easy.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's like if you played a sport. I don't know, what sport do you like to play?
I played basketball and tennis. Tennis in college.
Okay, now I said you played tennis, so you're a pretty good tennis player. Okay, just like, would you want to play tennis against a 5-year-old?
No.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be no fun, right?
No
that'd
fun
be easy. You beat the sucker.
It'd be boring.
Exactly, boring. And and that's life is. So to me, life is trying to work as hard as you can.
Mm-hmm.
If you find something you really love to do. If you're doing something you don't like, then you're not going to work harder.
Yes.
So the key, and that's what, to me, this entrepreneurism or being a contractor, you find something more in the line of what you really want to do.
Yeah.
So you go work like hell at it. Right. If you work like hell at it, you're going to be good. If you love tennis,
mm-hmm.
you're going to be out there at 5 o'clock in the morning hitting that ball against the wall. If you hate it, you're going to only do it when your father makes you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so that person who's up there in the morning by themselves, loving it, are going to beat the pants off you.
Yeah. Well, that's when I talk to any audience of potential entrepreneurs, and they say, well, what advice would you give me? Is, you really to find your passion, what you're passionate about doing. Yeah. And make sure you love what you're going to do. That way, you're not going to mind working hard. All the little challenges throughout the course of the day, the people that give you headaches.
Exactly. It's going to be there no matter what you do.
That's right. But if you really love what you're doing, if you're passionate about it, you're going to do well at what you do. You're going to succeed. You're going to grow, and you're not going to care about all this stuff. It's not going to be as frustrating.
Right.
So the passion piece, I think, is really critical
that's key.
For people, to be successful and to love, what they're doing.
I'm giving advice to my, grown-up kids now. I say that your heart is smarter than your mind. On those kind of issues like love life or choosing a career. I mean, listen, that heart tells you what to do.
Yes.
Your mind, you get there for funny reasons.
Yeah. Then when you say, then the mind stuff can kick in terms of making your decisions. Being, taking risks, but doing risk in a careful way.
Nobody knows what works anyway. So what the hell? Why trust any? The experts don't know. Nobody.
Particularly in this day and age, right?
So nobody knows what works.
When we're tweeting and blogging and marketing our tails off and hoping that something hits, right?
Right. Exactly.
Hoping that you strike that gold in what you do.
So this has been around 15 years helping folks like this.
That's right. That's right.
That's terrific.
And we're just just as excited today as we are about what we do than what we do now as we were 15 years ago. Yeah. It's amazing when you look at the over the course of the 15 years how much has changed. In our society and in our economy. I mean, certainly technology, and the internet, and innovation has just been a phenomenal enabler for entrepreneurship, for small businesses. I mean, not only in terms of low cost, no cost ways of starting businesses, but then also how do you market to an audience outside of your block, region, the country, the world. I mean, truly the world.
To me, if you have a service, I mean, you say you want to be a massage therapist, a dog walker, or you're a web designer. I mean, you get a business card, you get a website for $200, and you put an ad in Craigslist in your business.
Yeah, you are. You are. And just as important as marketing your business is having access to the information.
Exactly.
I mean, now you can have access to information in terms of developing your business, growing your business, putting together a business plan, potential part. I mean, you have all this access to information, and again, the information that the government provides for free, business opportunities provided.
And
by
what else
government.
I was watching, thinking about government and how it helps businesses, because we see in what's going on now, all the big businesses that are helped by the government. But to me, it really should be there to help small business start. And I guess that thinking like the Homesteading Act. I mean, this is at least my little knowledge of history. We were here on the East Coast, and maybe we were somewhere on the West Coast, and all that stuff in the middle. When we started, the government gave away land. You got like 180 acres of land for free.
I wish they would do that again.
Exactly. You got that for free to go out and become your own boss. Yeah. Anybody could do it. Yeah. And that grew the country like that.
That's right.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
And in this day and age, I mean, you really can build your business, using the stuff that the government gives away for free, the access to the information. And people have got to use. They're paying for this stuff.
You're so right.
They're paying for this stuff, and it's good stuff.
Oh, it's better than anywhere you're going anywhere else.
That's right. It's excellent. And people think, well, if the government did it, then maybe it isn't. No, but this is just.
If you want marketing data, we're spending $10 billion doing the census. Who else is going to get money like that?
That's right. And market information about specific countries. I mean, these reports you can get for free.
You know what I used to do? Actually, when Fortune 500 clients, I was sitting in Washington. I had a big Fortune 500 client wanted to sell electric blankets in Germany. I called our German embassy in Germany there, and talked to the commercial attaché, and he sent me a report that they had on the shelf there in Germany that I got for free. I took, he thanked the government and took put my name on it, and sold that thing for thousands and thousands of dollars. Yeah. I mean, just with a phone call, you got that stuff.
Yep, and it's very specific, type of.
Exactly. But it takes effort. Yeah,
it does.
And that's the key. And
we
want that. So what I feel that happens is the people who are selling those services for a fee, they'll make it, make it nice and make it easier for you.
Yes.
But why, if you're going to spend $10,000, why are you? I could put up with a lot of hassle to save $10,000. But another thing, I think as you talk, I think at least policy-wise or politics-wise, it seems like small business and entrepreneuring is sort of thinks of is thought of an issue that is more right-leaning or conservative nature. You know what I mean? The kind of people, and that you think that people are very conservative think it's bad to use the government or something like that. There seems like an incongruity, in motives or philosophies by being, like the council must have that kind of clash. That here you're trying to show people how to use Washington, but maybe all your members are people who really don't think there should be a Washington or something like that.
Yeah, no, I mean, definitely we do have members that think, gosh, there's a lot of things obviously the government is doing that it shouldn't be doing, that duplicates what is happening in the what the private sector or private organizations are doing. And they want to be left alone by Washington. And they say, Karen, your guys' job is to lower our taxes, lower our regulation, and push for market-oriented reforms, or expand access to markets for us, not only here but on a global basis. And so we don't fit that sort of right. We're independent in that. And we do reflect how small business owners feel in terms of, the government is just burdens me with too much, taxes and regulation. But on the other hand, there's a lot of things that, the government is providing small business. We're going to let them know about it because they are paying for it. And we're not going to ignore it and say, well, because the government maybe shouldn't be doing this, and a private sector organization can do it more efficiently, that we're not going to let business owners. We're going to let them know about this. Again, particularly, we read this stuff, we go through it. It's high quality material. It's good information, good intelligence that their business needs to know about. We're going to provide it to them. And even if it's, we also, we feature in our small business news, weekly e-news, we'll put weekly stuff in there from the IRS. It's like, well, that's our job, to do that. Here is, here's some guidance material that they're providing for free. Here is some stuff that they're providing for free that's going to help you better comply with the tax code, or they'll let you know about a tax credit that's expiring that you can use. But just as, and we do put from the IRS in our little thing, but this is information that that the IRS is providing. Businesses need to know about it, and we're going to provide them.
And some lobbyists in town making $300 an hour is getting that stuff for their big fat cat client.
Oh, absolutely. Yes,
I saw a GAO report a couple of years ago that like small business development centers, like all the money and help they get people, 80% of that was big business using it.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean that's what frustrates me is that, God, it's for everybody. They have a right to it too, but it's just how do we get the average person on the street to know they have a right to it? Also,
right?
And it's valuable stuff.
It's valuable, and we go through this. I mean, to the extent that we can, everything that the government is outputting, that's getting out there. I mean, we'll look through it and see if it's of value to small business owners, and if it is, we'll get this information out to them, and that's what we do, and what we've been doing, and there are a lot of our members and small business owners who say they are benefiting, from this information that the government is providing. So again, it's good material, good intelligence, stuff that provides value to small businesses and helps them grow their businesses. Absolutely.
Oh, great. Well, I'm glad you're here.
Well, great. Glad to be here. I'm glad you're here, man.